Benita from
100.
what?
Number 100.
Number 100. You guys even know there were 100 startup companies in the Sacramento region? So.
Actually 99 because she's got twice.
Well, 99, that's right, you're a repeat. Well, I don't know, is there someone here who has a startup company who hasn't presented yet? Okay, well, there's definitely got 100. So, do you want a 1-minute warning?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Well, hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Laura, Jeff, 1 Million Cups, Impact Venture. We're excited to be back. We actually went through Impact Venture's Entrepreneurship Showcase as well. So they have an accelerator program that they do every year. So we finished that. And so I'll go over a bit about our company and then some of the recent highlights and progress that we've had. So to begin, why are we talking about Dermveda and skincare? Well, think about modern medicine. What is the problem that we have in our healthcare system today? It's that it's really, really focused on symptom management rather than disease prevention. So how can you solve that? It really starts with education, which is where Dermveda comes in. That's what we're all about. And when you think about education and actually changing your behavior, what's going to do that? It needs to be something that matters to you, right? You need some sort of motivation. So that's why we've targeted skin. Skin is the #1 driver of doctors' visits. 1/3 of the country is afflicted with a skin disorder. And we spend about $75 billion annually on derm visits. That's just on the medical side. That's not even cosmetics and beauty, which is a whole other multi-hundred-billion-dollar industry. And this really makes sense because if you think about it, skin's the largest organ in the body. So you might think about maybe you've had acne. Maybe you know a child who has eczema. Maybe you got sunburn when you were 8 and you might be wondering, is that going to eventually turn into skin cancer? These are concerns that people have very regularly. And so if we can channel into what people care about the most, their skin, and use that as an educational tool to help them make better decisions about their health, we'll be meeting our mission. Oh, okay, so what is the problem? There isn't easy access to trusted interdisciplinary skin health information. So a lot of websites are really broad. We'll go into that in a moment. And there's about a 2.5-month average waiting time to see a dermatologist. That's the national average waiting time. And then when you finally get in to see a dermatologist, woohoo, you have all of, at best, 15 minutes, if you're lucky. So there's really decreasing time. They're highly, highly pressured with regards to their patient capacity. And so what do people do? Where can they turn to for information? In addition to that, there's a huge growing trend towards complementary and alternative medicine. Think about how many people do yoga, want to change their diet and lifestyle. So where can they turn to for this information? So we've built a platform that focuses on education. And so we're coming in really, really early in that healthcare cycle so that hopefully we can catch people where they can start making changes in their diet, their behavior, their lifestyle. So we've built this platform, and this is really our 30,000-foot view. Our long-term vision is to be in the center of this system. We want to be the catalyst for consumers, for practitioners, and for product companies, because we need all 3 providers. So with regards to consumers, they're really our ignition point, so we started there. They can come to a website and Google a topic or learn about a specific area. It might be a disease, maybe they have a chronic condition, it might be a new health and beauty topic. With regards to practitioners, they need resources to send to their patients. There isn't a credible website until now where they can send their patients to learn more about skincare from vetted experts. And then finally, with regards to product companies, they need more efficient ways to develop products. So our final ending point will be to actually help them develop products more efficiently and more sustainably, because we'll have the data and the expertise to do so. So when I say we, I mean, we have a team of experts on our team. So they are skincare experts. So these are the people, we have 12 derms and alternative medical practitioners on our team, but they're leading researchers. So they're the people who, collectively, they have thousands of publications between them. They're a lot of the dermatologists who have either founded or run all the derm societies in the country. They're the ones who wrote the textbooks that the students in their fields learn from. And they're the ones who have all the research expertise and educational expertise to really build this platform. So it took us years to build this team and bring them together, because it's the first time you have dermatologists working with naturopaths, working with Ayurveda practitioners, traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, and also estheticians. So we have a very multidisciplinary team, and they're really leading researchers in their fields. We also have a full-time tax and marketing team because we've got to be able to deliver their expertise. So our physicians have worked very closely with our engineers to build all of our proprietary tools and technology. So I'll give you a use case. Sally comes in, she's got acne, right? So she's gone to a lot of sites. She has been to forums, she's been to a ton of health sites, great. She has so much information, but she has no idea. Does it match her skin type? Does it match her skin tone, her skin color? Is it relevant to her? She's not too sure. And then as she's reading through, she reads a lot about some of the standard approaches, antibiotics, different topicals, but maybe she wants something different. Is there anything she could do with her diet? Well, guess what? That's what the Eastern medicines really focus on. So she can come learn about acne from 4 different modalities. And then the final step, which we're building out, is actually product recommendations. So we have a huge ingredient database. We ran a pilot. We learned a lot from that, so we've since pulled it off and we're adding to it. But eventually we will literally be able to help people find that end stage, which is from information, learning about their condition. They can take a class if they really want to get deep, and then finally get personalized recommendations on products. We have a skin typing tool where you can have 1 of 14 skin types. It is proprietary to us because our integrative team built it. So it takes into account the Eastern and Western medicine. So now she's happy, she's got that information. Let's say a physician wants to use our tool. Well, they come to our site, they're really busy, and yet their patients are coming in asking them, hey, have you heard of this herb? Or do you know about this technique? Or I read about this, have you heard of it? Well, they are not sure themselves because maybe they didn't study that in med school. So they can come to a site and also learn about that same disease or that same approach on their platform where it has information that's already been vetted by their colleagues. So they don't have to worry, do 1,000 Google searches.
I'm sorry, I forgot to give you
Okay.
the- Go ahead and take another minute.
Okay, they've already got this information from their colleagues that's been peer reviewed. So we've got a unique Sally proposition for each of our channels. For consumers, we're not a huge health website. We're solely focused on skin, which means we go deeper than anybody else and we outperform all other consumer sites for skincare. We have all of these resources for practitioners because we're multidisciplinary. A lot of them are single focused. So they might be Western, they might be Ayurveda, they don't bring it all together. And then with regards to product companies, our new platform that we're building actually analyzes ingredients, so it's not subjective. The current rating system is oftentimes a beauty expert who puts their opinion about a product. We take that out and we look at exactly how does the ingredient interact with skin types. So it's a really powerful tool. It's a huge market. Each of our segments is in the billions. We're obviously starting first with women focused on skin, interest in complementary and alternative medicine, a specific subset of practitioners in the alternative space and mid-sized companies, and then expand from there. We're staging this because we know that this is a very multi-pronged approach. So we're starting with consumers, we're entering into practitioners this year, and then in the long term we'll also work with product companies. And because we're founded by practitioners, we can operate with very lean efficiency. So really we focus on building the technology and the marketing platform. And primarily our revenue this year is coming in from product companies. They sponsor this, they sponsor our courses, they sponsor articles, and then the registration fees that practitioners and the public pay for our courses. So in the next year, we launched our website last year. We're building out our course platform. It actually just launched last month. We're working on the practitioner model, and then next year we're actually going to be hosting the world's first integrative skincare symposium. We've had over 100,000 reads to our website. Our readership is growing. Right now we're doing a big push for Eczema Awareness Month, so we have the world's first integrative approaches to eczema ebook and an introduction to eczema course. It's free for the month of October, so go check it out. And then next year, save the date on your calendar, we're going to be hosting the world's first integrative skincare symposium here in Sacramento. And so with that, I thank you for your time. We hope you will help us build better health for people from the inside out through integrative, personalized, high-quality information. Thank you.
Benita,
Yes.
how can this community help you, other than marking on our calendar to come to you?
Yeah, it's going to be October 20th. So the October 20th event, the first 2 days are really for practitioners, but on the 20th we'll open it up for the public, and it'll almost be like a health and wellness fair.
And that's 2018.
Yeah, 2018. Yeah, and it'll be at the Sheraton downtown. But yeah, follow us, really create a profile. That really helps us because we're still enhancing these tools, and David and my tech team, our VP of Engineering, can talk more about some of the AI that they're incorporating, because we really want to bring in deep learning. Because for us, the goal is not to be a massive information repository, but to provide information that's very timely and specific to people's concerns. So there's a lot that's going on behind the scenes that he runs. So we would love just feedback. If you know of dermatologists or practitioners or a cool product company, let us know. Yeah?
You hit it right. I know someone that's also much better than deal with acupuncture.
Yes, okay. That's totally what we want, yeah. So one of our top read articles, so mostly people find us through Google, right? They're like, hey, what do I do about my acne? So acupuncture for acne is one, or cupping for acne is one of our top articles, yeah.
And she knows about the herbs.
Awesome, yes, please. Uh-huh.
I think you said that you narrowed it down to 14 skin types. That seems like a really small number considering everyone's skin is so different.
Yeah.
I met one startup who was working with technology where you could like take a picture of your skin and it would analyze it and give you product recommendations. Is that something you're looking at?
Yes, and we even played around with that last year, but the software at the time wasn't advanced enough, so it wasn't consistent enough. So we pulled that. We're working on a new version, which maybe David can talk about. But yeah, so we of the 14. So what's interesting is there's 14 primary, but within that, like let's say you're a skin type 6 and I'm a skin type 6, we actually have different amounts of the different variables that got to that. So overall, that's our constitution, but our system can actually, there's actually more like 72, but broadly speaking, that's too overwhelming for consumers, so we bucketed into 14 main ones. So you will eventually get a report that will tell you a lot more about your skin, and you will be able to identify, because we match it based on, it's a lot more granular than just 14. So yeah, you're right, but the 14 main buckets help us deliver it a little more efficiently than if we try to explain the 72 models to everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys, is the revenue model advertising for practitioners and for products that will sponsor posts, that kind of thing? Is that,
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, primarily. So our sponsors are advertisers. So everything from, they might sponsor an entire course, especially on our practitioner platform. That's a really hot space for us. Or they might just post a sponsor specific article. So yeah.
Okay.
Kind of going off that, since you have your own team of dermatologists, why not make your own product?
Yeah, people ask us that all the time. So the two things we get are you going to do telemedicine and are you going to develop your own product line? The answer to both right now is no. So first and foremost, we don't want to compete on the product space. So we don't want to be a product platform, have our own product. We have a platform where we vet other people's products, but we just didn't want conflict of interest and for people to come to a site and say, oh gosh, you're selling me your own products. So this way we can be a little more objective. That's really the goal. And then on the telemedicine side, we definitely have the capacity to do that if there's enough demand. We've seen a lot of telemedicine companies and how that's been going, and so we haven't ventured into that. Yeah. Yeah.
So will the user ever have to pay for anything? Like if they want to look up information on your site?
They pay for courses, but all the other information is free. So like our directories, our written content is all free, but they do pay for courses.
Okay.
So your main IP is trademark and some copyrights, or is that AI idea, are you considering patents for that direction?
Yes, we have definitely considered that. We've been working with a patent attorney to kind of really assess what would be the best fit for us, because of course as soon as you patent it, it's now available to the public, right, how you actually went through all of that. And so that's what we're working on right now. So far all of our content we build ourselves. So one piece of content, for example, can take us 3 months because we have a whole peer review process. So it's more like a medical journal for the public than anything else. So that content's not easy to replicate. But people share it, link it, we're fine with that, but our content is pretty proprietary. And then, yep, we've trademarked our name, and then we're looking at whether or not we're going to actually patent some of the tech IP. Yeah.
So there, in the alternative medicine space, there are two main distributors that really distribute to almost all alternative medicine practitioners: Emerson Ecologics and Natural Partners. Have you reached out to them?
Yes, we're starting to. No, I haven't reached out to them yet, but that's what we're starting to do. So far, our focus has really been on the medical practitioner side of things, and we're now starting to bring in a lot more product partners. So I'm planning to go to, they have an annual showcase, I think, for, it's called Natural Products Expo or something. So yeah, we've got a few of those things on our calendar for next year.
Or a few connections that you make.
Oh, yes, that would be sweet. Thank you. Yeah.
One more and I'll keep quiet.
Yeah.
Do you have any educators on your team?
So my background's in education, I forgot to mention that. So before doing this, I taught in the classroom and then I ran online courses for UC Davis. So I'm very familiar with online education, but we've actually brought on a woman who specializes in this. She's been doing it for 11 years, and she's building out a lot of our online courses that need to be accredited.
So with that, could introduce some CE stuff?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Oh,
Yeah, we do continuing medical education. Yeah, which is a nice fit because all practitioners are required to do CE to maintain their license, so, yeah.
So you're in the Fourth Wave Accelerator Program.
Yeah.
That's a program for women founders that's being here in Sacramento. You're the first cohort, right? So you've been in the program for what, about 6 months or so? And I'm curious, through the process of the accelerator, have you pivoted or made changes, and what were some of those changes?
Yeah,
that
that's
you
a
made?
really good question. Yes, we have. So this presentation is different than the one we did even just in April because what we've learned is that, so much like for the team earlier, somebody gave the feedback, it's really hard to go direct to consumer, and that is very, very true. It's a very noisy market. Think about how many skincare sites there are out there, so that although we have a unique value, and we're now getting ranked as a top Google search for many of our topics, it's still, that's a really big market and a big weighted, a more challenging, I think, steep hill. Versus on the practitioner side of things, there are far few competitors, far fewer, and so it's an area where we found that actually, that's where the product companies, the sponsors, get really excited when we talk about continuing education versus going to the public, because when they go to the public, they use Google and Facebook like everybody else. So it's a different model, but when you talk about the practitioner side of things and having an online platform for them, that's a very specific targeted market for them. So it's just a win-win to do it that way. So we've now done a lot more work and are pivoting towards really focusing on the CME, the continuing medical education. So that was always a part of our long-term vision. We're just bringing it up. We're doing it a lot sooner than we originally planned. So that'll be our main focus for the coming year. Yeah. So then it helps. It complements the work we do for the public as well. So every time a practitioner gets a course or we're sponsoring that, it funds the education we provide to the public. So it's very synergistic. It's kind of more of a timing and where we're going to focus our resources for.
Do you have any outside investment yet?
No, not yet. We're in the fundraising round process.
Other questions from any?
But we're not pre-revenue anymore, so that helps.
That helps a lot.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Where are your products? Do you have products?
We do. So when we ran our pilot, we did it with the co-op and all of their skincare brands. So we worked with a lot of product companies through there, mostly natural, kind of the natural products. But for now, thanks to our Intro to Eczema course, was sponsored by the Eczema Company, which is a natural eczema company in Canada. And then we've put in so the way that some of the larger product companies work is actually through grants. So it's still sponsorship, but they call it grants. So we've applied for a few of those. We're in the final rounds for one of them, so we're excited about that. So that's kind of how it works. It's either one-off companies will want to sponsor a specific course, or we go for some of the larger sponsorships.
Do you do product comparisons?
So not yet. So part of our platform that we've built in the back end has the ability to do so. But right now, if you go on our website, it just says come back later. We're working on it because we got a lot of really good information, and part of it was how people wanted to see information. What we learned is they didn't want more information. They wanted to know, hey, I have really dry skin. What's going to be the best thing for me? And they wanted to know right away and get that kind of comparison. So we're building out other chart-based UI to help people.
Is that what you're going to integrate from there?
Potentially, yes, because we can do affiliate programs that way. So we can get a share of revenue that people of the products that people purchase, and it's a great advertising platform. But the continuing education side is actually really huge, and the tools we're building for practitioners. So both, I think, will be pretty significant.
So, Benita, kind of a different topic, but you have been fully engaged with Sacramento's startup ecosystem since I first met you, which I believe was about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I wondered if you could talk about some of the programs that you've been through, how they were helpful to you as a startup founder. Let's start with Startup Weekend.
Okay. Well, Startup Weekend was amazing because that's how I got my tech team. And so it's true. So when we first started 2 years ago, this was just an idea. Literally, I went knocking door to door. I went to startup events, Startup Grind, Startup Sac, and I just would pitch this idea like, hey, what if we had a website that did X, Y, Z? And so since then, obviously, we've grown a lot. So we have a tech team, a marketing team, a pretty big medical team, as you saw. And so I think for me, the biggest thing is Sacramento's allowed for a lot of awesome just network building. So everything from building our team here, like our entire ops team is here, which is great for us. We have a lot of partnerships, like Greater Sacramento Economic Council's been supportive, the mayor's office, MedStart's a big accelerator for medtech programs, a nonprofit that supports medtech programs, kind of like MedStart. So they've been really supportive. They have a CEO forum. So I think just in all the accelerators, and there's new ones now, like many new ones since we even started, getting the office space. I mean, just people have been so supportive. We've had amazing mentors and advisors who literally, whether it's a CFO or somebody in marketing or PR or technology that just, I can call them, they help us. They'll sit down with us, they'll vet our numbers, look at our plans, help us, guide us to getting to that next step. So I think that has been truly amazing because Sacramento is just a very supportive, collaborative community. And then we have our healthcare systems here, so we have a mecca of expertise and partnerships that we can explore and work with them on. So the combination of all of that for us has been really powerful because we've scaled very quickly on a very low budget, which I think could have only happened in a place like this.
Other questions for Benita?
I heard there was a story on NPR about a prescription that included downloading an application that sort of walked you through how to take. Yeah, is that sort of something you guys looked into? Because skincare requires, special types of applications.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I can't say that we've really specifically talked about that part of it. It's been much more about how do you get the information to help people make the best decisions, and then less about, how do you help guide them through that next step. So I think that's something definitely to consider. Yeah, thank you.
The app was approved by the FDA.
Cool.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yes, that is huge.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you so much.